Well, the US has sent a small team of troops to Nigeria, which marks the first acknowledged presence of American forces on ground since US launched airstrikes last Christmas. According to the head of US Africa Command, the team was deployed after both countries agreed to do so, and this to counter the terrorist threat in West Africa. The size and scope of the mission, however, have not been disclosed yet. Reports suggest that American team appear to be involved in intel gathering and enabling Nigerian forces to strike terror-affiliated groups. President Donald Trump ordered airstrikes on what he described as Islamic State targets in Nigeria last December, while warning that further US military action would follow suit. Further, the top US general in Africa has claimed that the strike was carried out in Sokoto state, which was in coordination with Nigerian authorities that killed multiple ISIS terrorists. In fact, earlier the US reportedly conducted surveillance flights over the country from Ghana since late November. Nigeria faces Washington's pressure after Trump had accused it of failing to protect Christians from terrorists in the northwest region. The Nigerian government has denied any systemic persecution of minorities, the Christians, while saying that the forces target fighters who attack both Christians and Muslim civilians. Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province fighters have intensified attacks on military convoys and civilians in recent past. The country's northwest remains the epicenter of 17-year Islamist insurgency in the country. And getting us more details on US deploying more forces in Nigeria is our correspondent Louisa Oleni, who sent us this report from Lagos.
More hits for terrorists as Nigeria and the United States have stepped up defense cooperation, leading to deployment of a small US military team to Nigeria. Representatives of both countries have confirmed. The exact duty of the team is not stated, but AFRICOM Commander Anderson said they brought some unique capabilities to augment Nigerian military efforts against Islamic State militants operating in the region. We recall both countries agreed to increase military collaboration last year after the US said Nigeria was not doing enough to protect Christians from jihadist attacks. This signals a much more aggressive phase as the fight continues. From Lagos, Nigeria, we
Nigeria, United States military men on ground, and our media just play cool. They play cool as if nothing is happening, as if that's nothing. They're all screaming 2027, whereas these are the events that will determine 2027. The military men are on ground to protect Christians. That is the point there. They are not on ground to protect Nigerians or Nigerian Christians. A country that pretty much evenly distributed in terms of demography between Christian and Muslim. Firepower is on ground to protect the Christians. Ladies and freaking gentlemen, welcome. The US military, what the heck is going on? The US military says some force have been dispatched to Nigeria. The US has sent a small team of troops to Nigeria. The general in charge of the US Command for Africa said on Tuesday the first acknowledgement of U.S. force on ground since Washington struck by air on Christmas Day 2025. President Donald Trump ordered a strike on what he described as Islamic State targets in Nigeria in December and said there could be more U.S. military action. Reporting for Reuters earlier reports that the U.S. has been conducting surveillance flights over the country from Ghana since at least late November. I wonder why Ghana. The top general said the U.S. team was sent after both countries agreed that more needed to be done to combat the terrorist threat in West Africa. That has led to increased collaboration between our nation to include a small U.S. team that brings some unique capabilities from the United States. General Dagvin Anderson, head of the U.S. Military Africa Command, AFRICOM, told journalists during a press briefing on Tuesday. He did not provide further details about the size and scope of their mission. Defense Minister Christopher Musa confirmed that the team was working in Nigeria but did not provide further details. A former U.S. official said that the U.S. team appeared to be heavily involved in surveillance gathering and enabling Nigerian force to strike terrorist affiliated groups. Nigeria has come under intense pressure by Washington to act after Donald Trump accused the West African nation of failing to protect Christians from Islamic militia operating in the Northwest. The Nigerian government denied any systematic persecution of Christians. President Trump accused the West African Islamists. Tinubu denied the prosecution of Christians, saying it is targeting Islamic fighters and others armed groups that act both Christian and Muslim civilians. Nigerian media are not interested. Tell us one of the most significant events currently unfolding, but they are worried about a private lifestyle. We are doomed, ladies and gentlemen. 2027 is going to be determined. Not just 2027, 2031 at the same time will be determined on this premise. Christianity and Islamic religions, which one had to take the front burner? I've been saying it and I'll keep saying it. There is nowhere on this planet Earth that we have these two religions that pretty much equal in numbers, coexisting peacefully without one being the leader. Doesn't happen. I've never seen it. So Nigeria is not going to be an exception. I refuse to believe that. Politically, we are going to struck it out, but I don't think we would arrive at a conclusion at that. We will see bomb ourselves in the name of the God that we believe in. That's I guarantee us. If the Nigerian territory can be struck and follow that strike with military men on ground, ladies and gentlemen, nothing else will determine the Nigerian fate going forward outside it. It doesn't matter how the economy, how good or how bad it gets, because right now it's good for the investors. That single prints of the investment of the policy, every nook and cranny that you turn to. So that is not going to be the subject of the conversation. It's not going to determine the election. I don't even care if security they will prepare security to be at the front burner, but no. But the only thing that will determine Nigerian future henceforth is Christianity and Islam. One had to lead. One had to be the moral authority of the state. This pretending of coexisting under secular system, we are literally saying that we don't have a leader. No society stands and strive without a moral standing, moral compass. Nigeria will not be an exception. One of these religious civilization had to be the front burner. Even the United States of America, who are trying to play cool under the disguise of secular government, it's not really the order of the day as we see Donald Trump administration pushing it to where it should be according to their own belief. So the idea that Muslim and Christian will coexist peacefully in Nigeria is a charade. It's not going to happen. We can pretend all we want. We have the United States military men on ground. They strike on behalf, not on behalf of Nigerians per se, but on behalf of Nigerian Christian. In a country whereby we pretty much are 50-50 Christian and Muslim. But one is crime victim of who? Because of the other side. No matter how we want to disguise it, how we want to color it, how we want to phrase it, the practical reality in our Nigerian life today is that Christian are up in harm against Christian, against Muslim. I mean, we can frame it as Muslim fundamentalists, terrorists, Boko Haram, all we want. But the defense that is coming on behalf, that we are seeing today, is on behalf of Christianity. So, again, our leaders, our elites, the politicians can pretend all they want. Last, the determining factor of election going forward will be religious. There's no two way about it. No two way about it. What's going on? Something is going on with my stream. Something prevent this page from loading. Okay. That's not the point. Okay, what? What happened there?
Authorities ordered missile strikes. The United States has deployed a small military team to Nigeria, Washington confirmed on Tuesday. The head of US Africa Command said the move was in coordination with the Nigerian government and aimed at strengthening efforts against terrorist threats in the country's north. AFCOM did not provide details of the mission's size, scope, or activities. The West African nation is facing a long-running jihadist insurgency, which has killed tens of thousands of Nigerians since 2016. In December, US President Trump, in coordination with Nigerian authorities, ordered missile strikes on what he described as Islamic State camps in the country's northeast. Trump has claimed the insurgents are carrying out a Christian genocide, but the Nigerian government says people of all faiths have been victims of the terrorist attacks. Nigeria's defense minister confirmed the presence of US troops but didn't provide further details.
Now, this is a serious issue that is developing right now as we speak, while our Nigerian media ignored it.
The United States has deployed a small military team to Nigeria, Washington confirmed on Tuesday. The head of US Africa Command said the move was in coordination with the Nigerian government and aimed at strengthening efforts.
The heck, man.
African nation is facing
one day I go yana ganin hawayenmu.
You have elected me to serve.
Are you serious? My bad. What the fuck happened? It's not what I meant. Cannot believe this.
All right, shifting our focus, U.S. President Donald Trump has said he is considering a range of military options in Nigeria after threatening to intervene over the killing of Christians in the African nation. Early on Sunday, Nigeria suggested a meeting between its President Bola Tinubu and Trump to ease out the diplomatic tensions. The development comes after Trump blasted Nigeria on Saturday, asking Pentagon to map out a possible plan of attack in Nigeria, claiming that Christianity was facing an existential threat in Africa's most populous country. The claim has since drawn the attention of the Nigerian government, who rejected Trump's claims and proposed cooperation in combating terrorism. When asked aboard Air Force One if he was considering sending troops on the ground in Nigeria or airstrikes, Trump replied that he envisaged a lot of things, adding that a large number of Christians were being killed by Nigerians.
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Responding to Trump's threat, Nigeria said on Sunday that it would welcome U.S. help in fighting Islamist insurgents as long as its territorial integrity is respected. Nigerian president spokesperson Daniel Bwala said that Nigeria is U.S. partner in the global fight against terrorism and that there would be better outcomes if both the leaders met in person. He added that Nigerian government did not see Trump's threat in the literal sense. Bwala also rejected the claims of a Christian genocide.
So the report or notion that there is a Christian persecution or genocide in Nigeria is false. false both from the premise and the conclusion. It is not supported by data.
Nigeria, which is almost evenly divided between a Muslim majority north and a largely Christian south, is embroiled in numerous conflicts. Experts say these conflicts have killed both Christians and Muslims without distinction. Islamist insurgents such as Boko Haram and Islamic State have wreaked havoc in the country for more than 15 years and killed thousands of people. However, their attacks have been largely confined to the northeast of the country, which is a majority Muslim. These groups often move between neighboring countries Cameroon, Chad, and Niger, and are scattered across a very large swathe of territory. In central Nigeria, there have been frequent clashes between mostly Muslim herders and mainly Christian farmers over access to water and pasture. While in the northwest of the country, gunmen routinely attack villages, kidnapping residents for ransom.
One day I go how I am.
You have elected me to serve.
Tinubu, a Muslim from southern Nigeria who is married to a Christian pastor, on Saturday pushed back against accusations of religious intolerance and defended his country's efforts to protect religious freedom.
The White House has confirmed that the U.S. will not be participating in official talks at the G20 summit in South Africa.